where I treat these stones in my lab. And when I pointed the meter, EMF meter, electromagnetic field meter, at my new, basically, Tesla coil, it fried it. Whereas a normal Tesla coil with millions of volts coming off of it, no problem. It utterly destroyed it. So I realized there was a huge amount of energy there. And then what I did is I decided I'm going to measure the energy going into the system versus the energy that the system is actually producing. And where most people fail with their zero-point energy machines in this huge race to zero-point energy technology is they see an increase in voltage and they think, oh my God, I've got over unity, there's more energy here, but their amperage goes down. The amperage is the amount, the quantity of the punch of an electric current. The voltage is the flow. And basically you take voltage times amperage to equal watts, or amps times volts equals watts, to know if you really have over unity. And I have all these meters, and I have these harmonic code generators that are mathematically designed
in the lab,
and this blew my mind and my partners. We saw truly 1.5 amps going in, and my meters only go to 5 amps. It only takes 2 amps to destroy a human body. 5 amps were coming out steadily. And then I went, oh my God, this explains why this field generator I created is frying my meters. In fact, it fried my voltmeters, and I had to remove stuff from the lab because it was so powerful it would destroy it. And the first thing I realized is I have over unity, and the first thing I could do with this, as it is I could actually convert water into hydrogen far more efficiently than we currently are with our conversion, running electricity.
Using this technique.
Using this technique, and that's just the beginning of where all of this goes. But it ends up becoming, this huge mathematical discovery that I start getting more and more into the math, and I'm able to actually find out what the Great Pyramids really are doing and take some measurements on the pyramids, which I think you're going to be really excited about later on. But where this, let me just backtrack a little bit, because where this all started for me, and I was very conservative about this. I didn't want to go public with the discovery, and I've been working on differentials for years now. And there's a few other people, that have come to my attention through Dr. Len Horowitz and also my friend Luke Gatto, who's one of my co-researchers,
sure,
that have been kind of going in the same direction. They called it breaking symmetries, and I called it differentials. But I started doing a lot of mathematics, and it's very simple mathematics, and discovering that these differential harmonic codes were not only responsible for, utterly abundant, infinite free energy, and acted as conduits to extract energy out of the zero-point field and pull it into our physical dimension. And what I mean by that is zero-point energy, by definition, is when you measure the actual background of space itself. Max Planck said the void of space in the year 1900, he said this to Einstein, that there was energy there, that the void was actually supercharged with an infinite amount of energy.
How did he know that?
He knew it mathematically because his formula, E equals HF, which was different than Einstein's E equals MC squared.
Okay.
Max Planck, just to make this simple, let me make Einstein really simple for people, because once you really understand how simple E equals MC squared is, it won't scare you anymore. It's basically energy is equal to mass in relationship to converting mass from two different forms. One, solid mass energy in motion. Imagine electrons or charged particles are flowing through a copper wire the same way water flows down a river. When the water pushes against a paddle, you get a force. Right? That's physical mass energy. But then when you spin in, for example, a Tesla coil, electrons in a copper coil, the coil will radiate off and convert its mass energy into light or electromagnetism. So Einstein's formula is really just a way of quantifying this constant conversion of energy transforming itself from a physical state back into light, and then from light back into matter. So that's really what it is.
Why, David, has it taken so long at this point for anybody else to develop this or come up with this?
This type of technology?
Yeah.
Well, this is what's really interesting, is so many people are moving towards this discovery of zero-point energy, and it really is the holy grail. And one of the reasons it's so hard is that, yeah, Tesla did it. He did it with the Earth itself. He actually decoded the Earth's harmonic code. It's just because there's not enough money. There's not enough money and time going into it. There's incredibly brilliant minds out there, and most of the people that I know in this field are just dying to get some research funding so they can do some experiments in the lab. I happened to get a little bit of research funding because I had some partners who wanted me to see if I could charge, stone technology to affect the energy field of the human body. And by accident in the background, I produced an effective over unity. And I used some materials and designed a Tesla coil in a way that's never been done before. But, yeah, there are other people that are doing it, but the process of actually testing, is it just the voltage going up? Is it the amps going up and the volts going down? That has to be verified every single time.
That is amazing work, David.
Well, so this is just the beginning, but where it all started for me is my UFO sighting at Berkeley in 1968.
Explain that briefly.
Really quickly, coming home from elementary school, 7 years old, there's a flying saucer up there and hundreds of people, pointing at it in pandemonium, and then it disappears in a blink of an eye 20 minutes later. But over the pursuing weeks, I kept dreaming about the UFO's propulsion system as if they were communicating to me how it worked. And what I saw was one set of lights, green-blue spinning one way on the same axis, and then orange-yellow spinning counter-clockwise to that rotation on the same axis. And that was part of the secret. At 7 years old, and it wasn't until I discovered that Bardeen, Cooper, and Schieffer won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1972 for spinning electron pairs counter-rotational to each other on the same axis, and they produced superconductivity. When I realized that actually, was an actual, mechanical discovery in the quantum universe, that there really was something to this counter-rotational spin, I knew that there was a purpose for me receiving that information. And it turns out that is the key to understanding the hidden harmonic codes of the universe.
Now, are you saying, though, that you are at a point now where you can harness the energy from the universe, or you're just dabbling?
Well, I can say that I'm at the point now where I've taken these measurements that I can build a device that is similar to, you think of the zero-point energy field. There's no temperature at all. It's absolute zero at minus 273 degrees in this void where Max Planck discovered. And Einstein says, no, there's no energy in the void because if there's no mass, there's no energy. And Max Planck said, well, wait a minute. 10 years later, in 1913, Einstein and his partners come forward and realize, yes, the void is where all the energy is in the universe. And what I'm saying is that it's what's amazing about the zero-point field is because the temperature is zero. Why should you have any energy? Because you need heat normally to get energy in some form. So how does that energy of absolute zero actually flow into the physical universe? How do we actually extract it? Well, it turns out that what I've discovered is these mathematical harmonic codes are everywhere. They're all around us. The symbols of what clues us into how to mathematically determine where they are natural architectures, natural sacred geometries. And this is where I started to discover where they were. I took a natural six-sided quartz crystal, and I noticed that it's a hexagon, and you can pick up any one that's natural, that's not man-made or not cut. And you'll notice that it's not a perfect hexagon. It's got six sides, but each side is slightly different length in different angles.
David, we'll pick up the story right from there. Plus, after that, I want to talk about the mathematical proof that the Great Pyramid was designed by extraterrestrials. Bigfoot, crop circles, Roswell doppelgangers. Read all about it and so much more in the After Dark magazine. If you have not subscribed yet, just call 1-888-727-5505 or go online at coasttocoastam.com. When you renew and subscribe, you'll also get 2 bonus CDs free, Art Bell interviews with Father Malachi Martin on exorcism. David, I want to spend a lot of time on the pyramids here, but I want you to finish your thoughts right before the break. David Sarita, our special guest, as we talk about harmonic codes and zero-point energy. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, before we get to the pyramids, this is really critical.
Yep.
And what it is that Newton's third law, which we're so